Right. Let's just say it out loud because nobody on the American side has the guts to. They'll tell you NASCAR has the best stock car drivers on the planet. 500 laps, 40 cars, door to door at 200 miles an hour, and mate, that is hard. I'm not here to disrespect it. But the best in the world on any track you put in front of them, nah, not even close. And there's one strip of tarmac in Australia that proves it. We call it the Mountain, 6.2 kilometers of public road carved into the side of Mount Panorama with 174 meters of elevation change. That's a 50-story building of climb and plunge in a single lap. Concrete walls, a hand's width from your door. 16 people have died there. 16. This is not a racetrack. It's a survival test with a finish line. And here's the thing that's going to stick with you for the rest of this video. There is a NASCAR star, a current cup-level talent, who jumped into a Bathurst simulator to see what the fuss was about. What happened next? We'll get to, because it tells you everything about why the gap between these two worlds is so much bigger than anyone in America wants to admit. Let's break it down properly. Start with the feet, because that's where it all falls apart. A NASCAR Next-Gen car is a brute, around 3,200 pounds, up to 670 horsepower, and crucially, it runs a sequential 5-speed gearbox now. You want to downshift, you bang the lever. The electronics handle the rest. There's auto blip. There's rev matching baked in. The car does the thinking, so the driver can keep both hands fighting the wheel on an oval. Now bring that bloke to Bathurst into a Gen 3 Supercar, lighter around 2,940 pounds, 5 liters of V8 screaming out 600 horses. And here's the killer. At the mountain, you don't get the car to save you. You've got to heel and toe. Left foot braking won't cut it through the descent. You're trail braking into a corner, blipping the throttle with the edge of your right foot while your heel buries the brake, dropping 2 gears, all while the nose is pointed downhill at a 1-in-6 gradient. Get the blip wrong by a fraction, the rear locks, the car steps out, and at Bathurst, when the car steps out, you don't spin into a gravel trap and have a chat with the marshals. You hit concrete, which brings us to the thing that genuinely scares them. In NASCAR, the wall is part of the strategy. The bump and run is celebrated. You lean on a mate's bumper. You rub the safer barrier coming off turn 4. You use the banking and the steel to scrub speed. The whole sport is built on the idea that contact is survivable, that the wall lined with energy-absorbing safer barriers will give you a second chance. Bathurst has no second chances. Run up through the cutting, a left-hander climbing at a 1-in-6 grade so steep that if you spin, you genuinely cannot get going again without rolling backwards. Get over the top into McPhillamy Park, a flat-out left-hander that's completely blind over a crest. You're committing to a corner you cannot see. With a concrete wall waiting on the exit, there's no apron, no runoff, no give it a tap and bounce off. Drivers have crashed there in practice and ended their seasons. Chaz Mostert clipped the inside wall in the S's in 2015, ricocheted across the track and broke his leg and his wrist before the car even stopped moving. That is the texture of this place, and a NASCAR driver's entire instinct, use the wall, lean on the car beside you, is the exact instinct that'll put them in the fence at Mount Panorama within 3 laps. But I haven't even shown you the worst corner yet, the one that exposes them completely. Hold that thought. Quick one before we get into it, and this matters. If you're part of the 97 Nation, if you've watched a Kiwi kid go to America and beat them at their own game and felt that little surge of pride, this channel is for you. The world is finally waking up to the talent from down under, and I want the algorithm to know exactly who runs this game, so hit subscribe, join the crew. Help us show every NASCAR fan in the comments that Aussie and Kiwi supporters don't just turn up, we take over. Right, the corner I promised you, Forrest elbow. It's a slow descending left-hander with adverse camber, meaning the road tilts the wrong way, away from the corner, trying to throw you off, and it dumps you straight onto Conrad Straight, the fastest part of the lap where Supercars hit nearly 300 kilometers per hour. SVG has run a verified 300.5. Now here's why this corner is SVG's signature and why Americans can't read it. Most drivers treat Forrest's elbow with respect. They brake early, get the car settled, ease through, because the exit drifts towards the outside wall. And if you carry too much speed, you wash out and kiss concrete on the way onto the straight. Shane Van Gisbergen does the opposite. He carries the car in deliberately loose rear, already rotating, throttle feeding in, while the car is still sideways, using that adverse camber as a slingshot instead of a trap. He's not fighting the slide, he's steering with it, and because Conrod is so long, every fraction of a kilometer per hour he gains at the exit compounds for nearly 2 kilometers. That's why on a timing screen he's a ghost. He's not faster in one big braking zone you can defend. He's 0.2 better at the exit of half a dozen corners, and by the time you see it on the data, he's already gone, and you can't track what you can't replicate. And a driver raised on ovals built around momentum and drafting, not rotating a loose car through adverse camber descents, has nothing in the toolbox to copy it. This is the road course brain, the thing SVG showed the whole NASCAR world when he turned up at the Chicago Street Race in 2023 and won on debut. First start, first win, first time in the car. Nobody had done that in 65 years. So now picture the reverse. Picture them coming to our house. Let's run it. Kyle Larson, arguably the most naturally gifted wheelman in America. Or Denny Hamlin, a veteran with everything to prove. We drop them into a Gen 3 Supercar at Bathurst tomorrow. Cold. What happens? Lap 1, pit straight feels fine, familiar. Then hell corner, then the climb up mountain straight, 290 kilometers per hour before Griffin's Bend, and that part's a buzz. That's their world. Confidence is high. Lap 2, now they're across the top. The cutting. Reed Park, skyline, and the brain starts screaming because there's no margin. The walls are right there. They lift earlier than they want to. They're already half a second off just from self-preservation. Lap 3, skyline plunges into the S's and the Dipper, the section people compare to Laguna Seca's corkscrew, except steeper and lined with concrete. The Gen 3 car wants a perfect heel and toe downshift, and they fluff the blip. Rear locks. The car twitches. Heart rate's through the roof. Lap 4, Forrest's elbow. They brake early, way too early because they don't trust the adverse camber. And they trundle onto Conrod 2 seconds down. Then SVG or Brody Kostecki or any of our top 10 comes flying past on the straight they just gave away. They won't crash on lap 1. They're too good for that. But will they be competitive? Will they be fighting for the win against blokes who learned this place since they were teenagers? The honest answer is the verdict I've been building to this whole video. And I'll give it to you straight right now. Here it is, a top NASCAR star. Larson, Hamlin, whoever would survive Bathurst. Given a full season, they might even get respectable. These are elite athletes. I'd never write them off completely, but the best in the world on the mountain against drivers built specifically for it? Not a chance. Not tomorrow, not next month, because Bathurst doesn't reward raw talent or horsepower. It rewards grit, repetition, and a feel for a loose car on a knife edge that you only earn by staring at those walls 1,000 times and not blinking. That's not arrogance. That's just the data talking. So now I want to hear from you. Which NASCAR driver do you reckon would be brave enough or crazy enough to actually take on the mountain and give it a real go? Larson, Hamlin, someone nobody's thinking of? Tell me in the comments and drop your flag so I know where you're watching from. If you made it this far, you're proper 97 Nation. Hit subscribe and I'll see you at the next one. This is NASCAR Nation Decoded. Stay on the gas.